Dun, 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 da da da. Alright, you probably know this guy over there, but you probably don't know everyone else around in the room. You know Franklin Delano Roosevelt, but you don't really need to know everyone else. Today we're gonna talk about the 4 freedoms. How about we get started right now? Cue the intro! Da 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 da. Darkashan, 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 Darkashan. The 4 freedoms. Hi guys, and welcome to a new episode. Today we have taps and touches showing. Woo! So I probably won't be needing that little cursor unless I need to use it at a certain point. You already know that guy, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, but you probably don't know about what speech he was doing right now unless you've looked at the title of this video, which you probably have. And it's called the 4 freedoms, and you can probably see why it's called the 4 freedoms. Freedom 1, freedom 2, freedom 3, freedom 4. The freedom of speech, duck duck. The freedom of worship, duck duck. The freedom from one, which is kind of weird. We'll be talking about more into that later. Duck duck. Yeah, I was doing all the sound effects for this whole entire time. And the freedom from fear, duck duck. And that's basically it for all of those who think that is it. Because that seriously is it here, guys. It's literally just 4 of them. The freedom of speech, the freedom of worship, the freedom from what, and the freedom from fear. But first, let's start with the freedom of speech. Alright, these are, this handsome guy over here was the one who drew these little posters. These were in a series called The 4 Freedoms, and from 1943. It's a pretty easy date to remember if you think of it. And that's actually all of that summed up together. This is the first freedom, this is the second freedom, this is the third freedom, and this is the 4th freedom. And that is exactly how it kind of works. So that's freedom number 1, that's freedom number 2, that's freedom number 3, and that's freedom number 4. And we'll look into the effects later. But first, let's continue on this guy. Here, let's analyze this drawing a bit more. Norman Rockwell actually did a pretty good thing with this. He was at a convention meeting, and then he saw someone openly disagree. And some people, like most of them, are just looking at him, like waiting for him to say something. And they listen to him respectfully, including Norman himself. But setting that aside, there's not much about this that could reflect on the freedom of speech here. He's trying to take his freedom of speech by just expressing his viewpoint, which is disagreeing to whatever everyone else is agreeing to, and everyone else is just listening to him with content. Maybe not agreeing with him at all, disagreeing with his disagreeing, but at least they're listening to him with respect. Here's the way I think of it as written. In my perspective, there's the man there, and those are all of the other people. And another thing here is that you can literally listen and gain ideas from it. However, this guy, well, he's grumpy, and he might react differently, even though he might be a bit of a more disagreeer guy. Alright, freedom 2. The freedom of worship. Here, the freedom of worship is more of a... I have no idea thing. Okay, rescanning all the scripts here, there's something about the freedom of worship. It means that you can worship it in any way. You can worship with this, you can worship with that little necklace thingy on your hands. I have no idea what it's called. Sorry, religious people out there. You don't really have to be religious anyway. I'll include that I already included that in my drawing. And you can just pray, just looking, not doing anything with the hand postures, or oh, yeah, really, I have no idea how to do that. Here's my version of it. Here are all of the religions that could be worshipped about. And these are the different ways of, well, just doing all that. One way is just to do the hands. The one way is just with the necklace. One way is just like that. Another like meh. And this guy, well, he probably doesn't believe in religion at all, based on the screwdriver and the gear in his hands. He's more of like an atheist, I guess. And these are all the religions you can choose from, at least the ones I know the symbols to. Okay, point number 3. The freedom from want. Now, what is the freedom from want? Now, in today's culture, if you look at it, if you even do a simple Google searcher, you'll see researches about having things that you want, like turkey or Christmas presents. You can have modern art, for example. Although I'm pretty sure some people are going to hate modern art, even if it's inappropriate. Just in case YouTube might censor me. Like this, for example. Setting aside all the wants we could ever have right now, our traditional culture improves and really just like wants people to have wants. It makes us have wants, like this, for example. So it's kind of controversial. And this is my expression of the freedom from want. Here you can see the turkey being given by her mom to her children. I'm pretty sure the dad was supposed to be drawn here, but then I ran out of space. And everyone's like a little bit of spit here that just came out because of all that delicious food. Some forks and knives, some little more food on the table. Whoa. With more food on the table, like, I don't know, spaghetti, eggs, some chocolate, grapes. These are just hair, eggs, toast, some, I don't know, Spam. Okay, for all of those of you who think Spam is a World War II food, yes, it was. But in Korea, they recreate into a modern Spam, which is very tasty, and I should upload a video about it. If I get at least 50 likes on this channel anyway. 50 likes on this video anyway. Freedom number 4. This is, well, one of my favorite ones. The freedom from fear. This photo shows us of 2 kids here sleeping who are kind of having a little bit of sleep, not knowing much about the world. And here's the mother and parent. And here, down in the newspaper, if you flip it upside down, it says, bombings kill, horror hits. Like, yeah, this is what it is. Yes, it's so terrible. Now let's look on the effects of the speech. Other than any of them, it wasn't really happened, really. And the freedom of speech, well, it went into a little bit of undergrossing. It went so undergrossed that it's kind of lame here. Oh yeah, I forgot something. My representation of freedom from fear. Here you go. Here are the 2 kids, and here's the mom and dad, and you can clearly see here USA attack by Japan bombing, and here's the same newspaper with the rest of the letter ing, like a bombing, and then some photos and like that stuff, and that's all you get from the newspapers now. From then, the 2 kids sleeping peacefully, hoping that in the future that their kids will be able to live well. Back to effects. Effects have not much of a primary effect. Yes, all of these have been shown by people like, yeah, I have a right to speak, and I have a right to worship the way I want, which this has been mainly been used. This hasn't been violated much. And freedom from want, I'm pretty sure everyone violated it by now. And freedom from fear, yeah, not everyone has that. Okay, let's look closely at the freedom of speech. In freedom of speech, some people, like the Ku Klux Klan, for example, let me use a less bolder one. The Ku Klux Klan, for example, they were like we have freedom of speech, so we can say anything we want. And they're like, yeah, let's burn this cross in some random neighborhood's lawn. Also, this could be shown and arrested, and this was of course arrested the Ku Klux Klan because, and not because of the freedom of speech, but because of vandalism. So kind of, it doesn't really matter. He didn't really care much about it. So these guys were arrested anyway because of that incident. But other times when they didn't do that, they were like blah 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 and offended a lot of people with their words. They're like, I'm offended. Me too. I'm offended too. Me too. Me 3. Me 4. Me 5. Me 6. Me 7. And after a long list of people get offended, they're like, I have freedom of speech and I am protected by the government. And if they actually try to kill the Ku Klux Klan member, the police can come and just kill all the protesters because of the First Amendment. Wow. I mean, I still don't believe how the First Amendment is portrayed like this. Ting. But setting that aside, let's get on back to the notes. Yeah, here we go. We'll skip that part and let's get on with that. There's so much to do in this part. In the freedom from want, everyone literally violated that one for obvious reasons that I'm not going to talk about. For obvious reasons, I'm not going to use and talk about. Everyone clearly violated this rule. So what did they do? Well, not much really. We just kept on with the tradition, and we kept getting Christmas presents or Thanksgiving turkeys. And also, we even got some little I have no idea what to say. Modern art. On to the next one, the freedom from fears. Literally everyone probably haven't gotten that yet for a lot of reasons. There's still a lot of fear in the world. Ooh. There's a lot of fear from the world. Even Pac-Man has a fear of the ghost, which he defeats by eating these little pebbles. But Pac-Man isn't real, and so are the ghosts. So, but now. The fear is from the nuclear bombs, and a lot of people have that secret. Had the secret of the nuclear bombs, so that isn't really useful right now. And because of this, we have a long-lasting peace, which is probably the reason why we have the most longest-lasting peace ever, and why we haven't gotten into a World War III yet. I hope I'll never have to experience a World War III at all. That's the life I'm going to live. And those are the effects, and that is the end of this episode. Hold up! We're now ending at 2022, and now we're midway between to 2023. So, will we make the jump? I hope so. Special announcement. You guys probably will have to wait a year for this. Until the end or the start of 2024, like January 1st of 2024 perhaps. But I will be creating a new video that will be released at 2024 called 2023 Hans and Sean, where there's at least 5 seconds for every day of the 365 days of the year. So keep waiting for a year. I'm sorry. But see you then. Shonan out. Peace! Tick-tock, tick-tock, tick-tock.